So, as they're passing it out, we ask that each of you take one. If you have friends or family that you know is not here today, please take one for them as well. So coming up here, preparing for today, is one of the hardest things I ever had to do. We must do it in order to fulfill God's will. The building that we have a contract for is $2.3 million. The day that we sell this property, the remaining loan, 1.7 million or $1.8 million. Our mortgage monthly loan, around $11,500 per month for the mortgage. So we have sent our finances to Orchard. They have reviewed it and they have returned this information to us. We are currently short per month by around $4,700 to $5,000. So that is the reason why we are here today. I know that each of you have given so much time and effort. In many capacities you have served. You guys are teachers. You guys have cooked, cleaned, maintained this church. You have repaired this building and you have led in leadership positions. But today we ask you for your financial sacrifices. So let's talk about how to fill this out. If you open it up, you may pay the rest side. This is for our monthly pledge. This is on top of what you currently give. So right now, if you currently give $100, we're asking you, can you give $150? A little bit more, can you do that? So if you can, and you want to give 50 more, write down 50 or check 50. If you give 500 a month, and God is speaking to you, and you can give 600 or 700 a month, put down 100 or 200 more. So that is the rest side. Are there any questions regarding the monthly pledges? So we need everybody's help. A few dollars here, a few dollars there. So that we can reach the 5,000 gap. Orchard has been clear about compassion in Hamiming Lata. Your Beijing Yapachi Pano, who you got Zanya Japan. They will not allow us to proceed with the loan. And this is something that they do above and beyond normal churches. If Panoto Yaya talk or Changle Lupunjela. The big more good record because we have such a great record with Orchard. This is one thing they're willing to do for us. And most churches don't even get this opportunity to pledge. The Dopper Jane, what do you count? Mojo, the second section. You may look like no turn to the back on the blue side. This is a one-time pledge. No yope San Tome Panya Ija Tope Yoluto Jeno. Because that we like to have a goal of 200,000. This sound shape gang patao awful pang Tope Yoluto Jeno. And let me break down the numbers for you guys. Yeah, come on to number no. 5 a bit salad bao meng. Jikyo pound the awful panel, 50,000 of this 200,000 will go towards down payment. Mopancho called down payment. Orchard wants to see if we are truly committed, if we're willing to pull out of our pockets to buy this building. What some part that your pay, Luvan to the town, people can chew, nya who bet Panapan, a what's some Thawj your pound, new down payment. 70,000 Yankyo Panda Ganyano will go towards repair work. You look bound to pay Kuluto J. They should play in Puata. You need open cool carpet, flooring, maybe painting, and maybe other cosmetic things. So Yankyo Pan, the Paul Pan, you Yolu Kuluto J. The remaining 80,000 Yikyo Pan, they sang. It is to furnish and to buy everything else that's needed for the DMD department, Chris, for all the kitchen equipment, everything else that we need. We're thinking $80,000 should be sufficient. So that's where the $200,000 comes from. If it's all so seafood, pastor, the elders, and the building committee, seafood jujolu chongzi lao, hampang, jijang auto general. They said that let's stop talking and let's start walking the walk. So Seafood Jujo Pound Building Committee, they have raised 63,000 of the 200,000. So the remaining is for the rest of our congregation. So when you pledge today, remember that you're pledging not just for a building, but for everything else. I'd like to spend some time talking about this church. The roots of this church did not start 10 years ago. The roots of this church goes back to Santa Ana in 1978, when Hmong district was created. The first church of Santa Ana, many members of here came from there. From Santa Ana to Arkansas, to Decatur, to Stone Mountain, to Auburn, and from Auburn to here in Houston. But I believe that God's plan for us doesn't stop here in Houston. I know He has plans for us if it's in His will to go to Jefferson. Maybe some of you think that a church is not important. Since I was a little child, I have seen many miracles and many things come out of this church. None greater than the people God has chosen to become His pastor. Let me give you some names. Sifu La Su Yang, Sifu Van Charlie, Sifu Van Zhu Yang, Sifu Kai Nen Hyung, Sifu Cha Zhang Hyung, Sifu Blat Zong Van, Sifu Nya To Gu, Sifu Zhang Stu Yang, Sifu Zong Feng Yang, Sifu Sa Yang Ho, Sifu Zhu David Yang, Sifu Gyo Fa Yi Sharan, Sifu Cha Ho, Sifu Bruce Yang, and Sifu Jerry Lau Gu Yu Kiao De Du. So many miracles, so many people from this church that has gone on to fulfill the ministry across the whole United States. And I look around, it's true we are not a mega church like 12 Stone. We are not a next gen church. I look and I see we are a multi-generational church. We are an extended family church. We have moms, dads, sons and daughters. We have grandparents and grandchildren. We have aunts, uncles, nephews and nieces. But more importantly, we have brothers and sisters in Christ. I want to talk a little bit to these four generations. We have the over 60. We are not here today if we did not have these people. We have been led by people like nyiaj, many members that have led this that are now retired. But not only through their leadership, I've seen it through their faithfulness through tithing. This is the most faithful group in our congregation. I reminded of people like Nuvuku. When you When his wife passed away and we went to pray for him, the first thing he wanted to do was to give his tithing back to God. And not just that time, but many times, each time we visited him, that is on his mind because he cannot attend church. He wanted to be faithful to God. I reminded of people like Roland Chang, who happens to be here today. For the past 2.5 years, he cannot attend church. Church. His hospital bills and medical bills piled up. And he calls me up and can you help me set up online tithing? Online. There are many more examples like this. In let's use them as examples to be faithful to God. Moving on to the second generation, 35 to 60. This is the working class. They work day in and day out. They are the breadwinner of this church. But we cannot do it alone. The elders cannot do it. It requires each and every one of us in this group. And I question sometimes, why are we storing our monies in the bank accounts? Why are we buying nice houses, nice cars, nice clothes? Why do we go on nice vacations and spend thousands of dollars, but we can't invest into God's property? We must sacrifice, and it starts with this group. I'm included. I look on to the third generation in our church, the single adults, the youth. You guys are the future leaders of this church. We are ready to pass the batons on to you guys. 25 years ago, a little bit more than 25 years ago, I sat in a chair just like you guys, a single adult. And on a podium, was up here asking for pledges to build a New Hope Church. And God spoke to me that day. God told me to be faithful. And I've seen his blessings over and over. I ask you young people, if you can pledge, please help, this is your church. Our God that can do all things, He can raise the dead. He does not need your money. He needs to see if you're faithful. So please be faithful. The last group in our church, are our kids. This is the group that's most dear to my heart. They're innocent but vulnerable to this world. In April, Nexus group came here for a building meeting. Last minute to talk about our building construction process. After church, I went over to the trailer at Gumon and I told Mary, I told not Peter, I said, are you guys using this? We have to have a meeting. With the Pan Building Committee, they had already prepared a meeting with the VBS team, a meeting with all the teachers. And it hurts me that I kicked them out. They don't deserve to be treated as second-class citizens. We must have more rooms for our kids. When I look at our kids, I see the next Sifu Nyiaj, Sifu Sanbi, Sifu Vansu in them. Not only that, but when I look at these kids, I see the next Nanzongje, Najandavi, Nazongre, Nazerpong, the next praise and worship team. Who will use their talents to praise our God. I look at our kids, I see the next Nayilong, Nanyeju, Navansu, and many others who pray every morning at 5 o'clock for our church and our leaders, who uses the power of prayer for our church. I look at our kids, I see the next Natonza, Nanosho, Vamba, the Zilonang, the Zinginu, Hainan Ginu, who uses their cooking talents to push people to get how so that we can have fellowship amongst each other. I look at our kids, I see the next Zonto, the next Sembi, the next Nuvan, the next Nosho, Hapanku, Duvantuche, all those who spend time to clean our building, to cut the grass, to fix the building so that God's place is a beautiful place. And I can go one by one to each person in this room on how you are a blessing to this church. But it doesn't stop with us here. It must continue to the next generation. There's a song called Do Something by Matthew West. Moi jang gao ge ata van ju o kyang ka chi o klan chi le. And in this song, it talks about the pain and suffering, about the many things in this world. And it says, God, why don't you do something? And the song, God answers, He says, I did. I created you. For 3.5 years, we have been praying for a church. It's not by coincidence that Sivu Van Zuotu passed by and saw this church. It was God answering our prayers. It's not a coincidence that this property has been listed for 4 months and is still available for us. It is God answering our prayers. It is not a coincidence that there were 2 previous offers before we even visited the church. It is God answering us. And it is not a coincidence that there were 2 groups after us that visited the church, but yet they gave the contract to us. It is God answering our prayers. But God has done His part. It is us to be the hands and feet. It requires all of us. And I will end with this last story. A couple of months before my dad passed away, we went to visit the church in Staten. And my dad couldn't go because he had Bell's palsy, he had shingles, and he was sick. And I came home, I pulled out the blueprint, I showed it to my dad. It looked like blueprint, told him how each room looked. And he was so excited. He said, if it's in God's will, may we get this building. But then my dad also says this. Remember that the church is not the building, but the people. Let's see if Sambi said last week. Fall in love with the people. Don't fall in love with the building. So as beautiful as that building is in Jefferson, but we ask you today, pledge because you love the person sitting next to you. Pledge because you love our elderly and want to have a place for them to have hope. Pledge for our next generation so we can plant the seeds of Jesus Christ in them. Thank you guys.